Today's topic, my law of attraction move to Timisoara in Romania. In the last couple of weeks, I received a lot of emails from amazing members of the Affirmation to Manifestation family who asked me, how did you end up in Romania? Why did you move to Romania? What is Timisoara? Why did you decide to live there? And because I received so many emails in which I was asked this question over and over again, I decided to record this for you. I decided to share the full story with you. I mentioned a few things in different episodes, but now I want to give you a big overview, the big picture. So let's get started and let me take you to Bangkok. That's the place and the city that I was living in before I moved to Romania. And back then in Bangkok, I was actually working as a university lecturer, which is kind of ironic because I have a baby face, and the first time I walked into the classroom, all the students were like, huh, is that a new exchange student? And I was like, nope, I'm the professor. So yes, I worked as a university lecturer in Bangkok. And back then I had a little side business, which was not making me any money at all, to be honest. It was just a little bit. Because back then I was trapped at such a low level of consciousness and in such a low vibration that it was impossible for me to manifest money. But back then I had no idea about that. That was before I ever believed in the law of attraction, before I ever believed that manifesting your dreams is possible. And back then I was so negative. I was really trapped in such a negative mindset. This was shortly after I had gone through a rough breakup, and to be honest, I destroyed the whole relationship with my behavior. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed of what I had done. At some point I even Googled and diagnosed myself and thought to myself, am I a psychopath? And I'm like, no, I can't be a psychopath. I have empathy. Am I a narcissist? No, I can't be a narcissist because I feel guilty and I feel ashamed of what I've done. Why did I do these things? So I didn't understand why I was doing these things. Now I know that it was all based on past trauma. It was typical trauma behavior that I had from my heart surgeries, unresolved trauma that I never worked on. Today I know that. Back then I had no idea. Back then I just thought, okay, what's wrong with me? Why do I hate myself so much? Why do I make other people suffer? Why do I make myself suffer? Why do I have these abandonment issues? Why do I destroy every relationship I ever had? Why do I do this? And then at some point during this process, while still living in Bangkok, while still blaming myself, while still feeling so ashamed of what I've done, I got sick. And I mean really sick. I was emotionally sick of myself. I was physically sick of what I thought was just the air pollution, even though other people I knew didn't have these severe symptoms. But I had everything. I had eye infections, ear infections, throat infection, just everything. At some point, I was just so disgusted with myself and with my life that I didn't know what to do, which also led to this one night that I describe in my PDF, in which I show you how I manifested thousands of dollars in just a couple of days. And if you decide to get access to my brand new money manifestation magnet program, in which I teach you exactly how you can manifest as much money as I manifested over the last couple of months, when you decide to get this program, you also get free access to a PDF, which is one of the bonus products, in which I talk about this one night that led to an incredible spiritual awakening. That's why I don't want to discuss it here. So if you want to get instant access to my Money Manifestation Magnet program, the link is in the description. And then while I was living in Bangkok and while I was suffering so much, one dream changed the direction of my life. At some point I woke up in the middle of the night. I can't remember if it was 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something in between, but I just had this idea in my mind with Romania. Just Romania, that was all. I woke up, took a deep breath, I was still somehow in shock, and I was like, Romania, what's going on? And I didn't know what to think about it, because back then I had no contact in Romania. I have never been to Romania, not even as a tourist. I knew nothing about the country, but for some reason this country popped up in my mind, even though I had never, ever before even thought about this country. And the next day I did some research and found out that Romania has perfect conditions for small business owners like me, for people who own online businesses. And then it happened. Then the incredible synchronicity started to happen. On the same day, I remembered that I knew a guy who does tax consulting for German people who want to start businesses or move their businesses to other places. and I texted him. Or let's say I sent him an email. I didn't have his WhatsApp number. I just sent him an email on his website. And in this email, I just asked him about Romania, if he knows anything about Romania, if he has any contacts. And then he said, oh yeah, I know this guy. It's another German and he has his business registered in Romania. You can contact him here. And he gave me his WhatsApp number. And then I contacted this guy. And I kid you not, for exactly another 2 days, this guy was in Bangkok. I mean, if that's not an amazing synchronicity, I don't know. And the next day I met him. And today I still have the same lawyer and the same accountant as this guy. That's how I actually started my business journey here. And then I had this inner feeling that this is the right decision. It just felt right. Even though every logical reason would say, no, are you crazy? Why should you do that? I mean, I was living in Bangkok. I thought about maybe moving to another Asian country, or maybe moving back to Germany, or maybe starting something new in South America. These were all options I had thought of, but I had never ever in my whole life thought about Romania. Because, like I said, I knew nobody, I knew nothing about the country, but my inner guidance, the voice of the universe, told me this is the right decision. And then there was this one day where the universe guided me while I was looking at the map of Romania. I was just opening Google Maps and I just had a look at different cities in Romania because I thought I would move to Bucharest because that was the only city that I actually knew. And I didn't really know the city, but at least I knew the name, let's say it like this. And I had never heard of Timisoara before, but now I live there. So now you might be asking yourself, how did I end up here? For some reason, I saw the name Timisoara on the map. And an inner voice told me, yes, that's it. But I still had to first travel to Bucharest because I had to set up the business and get everything going with my lawyer, with the accountant. So I had to travel to Bucharest. And I didn't really like Bucharest when I was there. Somehow the energy and the pollution, it was also very similar to Bangkok, to be honest. A lot of pollution, a lot of cars, and the energy was not telling me, yes, that's where you have to move. And then I gave myself the following manifestation challenge. I mean, I should have mentioned before, that's something that I forgot to mention, sorry about that. While I was sick in Bangkok and while I was just basically lying in bed and cursing the world, my spiritual journey started when I accidentally stumbled upon an Abraham Hicks video, which of course was not an accident, but I just want you to know that while I made this move from Bangkok to Romania, my spiritual awakening had already started. And that's why I gave myself the challenge. I want to be able to make the first apartment that I stay at in Timisoara my apartment. If this happens, that's the sign of the universe that I need, that this is the right city for me. And then the universe gave me the first apartment. When I looked at different apartments on Airbnb to just rent them for 1, 2 or 3 days, just to see the city and just to see if I feel good in this city, I rented a specific apartment, and I have no idea till this day why I decided to rent this apartment, but that was exactly the apartment that I had to rent. Because the moment I arrived at this apartment in the evening, I still remember it, my Airbnb host said, I wish I could find somebody for a long-term rental. And I was like, yep, universe, here we go. And I still live in this apartment. I got a long-term rental contract, and the universe guided me even more because my landlord used to work in Germany and speaks fluent German. So yes, the signs from the universe were very clear, and the universe said, you move to Timisoara. That's the right city for you. And of course it gets even crazier because there's a big connection between Timisoara and the next bigger city from my German hometown. I mean, I was brought up in a very small German town, but the next bigger city looks almost identical in the city center as Timisoara. And it gets even better, one of the parks in Timisoara has the exact same name as this German city. And it gets even crazier because now that I moved to Timisoara, I was ready for my emotional healing journey. Even though back then I had no idea that this healing journey would start in Timisoara. Remember, while I was living in Bangkok, I was cursing the world, cursing myself, feeling ashamed, and diagnosing myself with all kinds of weird things because I thought, why am I doing this? And then again, through another synchronicity, I met a woman in Timisoara who I'm still close friends with, who introduced me to a psychologist who specialized in trauma therapy. In this moment, I knew, okay, I have to work on it. I just have to do it. I felt shame and guilt and self-hate for such a long time. This is the sign that I need. And I started to work with this psychologist. And then I also met, through another coincidence, an energy healer who lives in the USA, but if I hadn't moved to Timisoara, I would have never met her. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but that's how it happened. And then I embarked on this healing journey. And on this journey, I realized that no, I was not a psychopath, I was not a crazy narcissist, I was not some kind of weirdo who's just completely out of it. I just acted out of trauma because I had never worked on all the trauma that I had from my heart surgeries. I never really thought about the fact that when you as a little baby get cut open and get needles in your body every single day, that this is basically the same thing, or let's say it has the same psychological footprint as you getting beaten every day by your parents. I always thought that trauma is only the result of an abusive childhood when your parents abuse you in some way. And that's not what I had at all. That's something I want to make clear here. I have the best relationship with my parents ever. I love my parents. My parents are the most amazing people and the most supportive people in the world. And that's also the reason why I never really thought that I had to deal with any trauma. But through this psychologist and through the energy healer and through this journey, I realized that all my behavior was the result of me acting from trauma. And I still remember how this psychologist told me, yeah, your behavior is completely normal. Everybody in your situation would have acted like that. And this was for me the confirmation, okay, I can heal, I can be better. And yeah, this just was the starting point for me. For me then, this was opening so many doors. And nowadays, I love myself. I'm a very, very empathic person. I mean, actually, to be honest, that's maybe a little bit embarrassing to admit, but since I'm on this complete self-love and healing journey, and since I've raised my vibration to such a high level, and since I'm vibrating on the consciousness level of joy and love, I cry because of every little small thing, which is so crazy when I think back to all these years before, when I couldn't cry about anything, except when I was really frustrated and angry. But nowadays I cry tears of joy because of so many things. I'm a completely different person. And if I hadn't made the decision to move to Timisoara, I would have never become this person. I would have never healed. I would have never met the people who allowed my healing. And that's why I truly believe that from the start, from the first dream that I had, the universe guided me on this path. And I'm so, so thankful for this. And I know that there's more waiting for me in Timisoara. I don't know if I will stay here forever, but I know for right now, it feels right. It just feels right. I love this city. I love the energy. I love the people. I mean, I had so many incredible experiences here with the people in Timisoara. Just to give you one example, one time I went to a meetup and I was the only foreigner. And just because of me, the host conducted the whole meetup in English and everybody was okay with it. And I just got such a welcoming energy here from everyone. I didn't have any negative experience at all. I just love this place. And I know that this is exactly where I should be right now in my spiritual journey. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I don't know what my purpose here will be exactly, but I know that there's something and I can feel it. So yes, that's my story of how I ended up in Timisoara in Romania. And if you also want to experience incredible synchronicities and wonderful experiences and manifest your dreams, then you can inquire for your first Skype coaching session with me, and you can find the link to that in the description. I would love to coach you, to share my own experience with you, and to help you to manifest the life that you truly want. Because if I can overcome all my self-hate, all my shame, all my guilt, all my trauma and my depression, my poverty, my low level of consciousness and all these things, if I can do it, then I know that you can overcome these feelings too, and that you can raise your vibration, reach a higher level of consciousness and manifest the things that you truly want in your life. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please send out some love to the YouTube universe by giving this video a big thumbs up. And I would also appreciate it if you would leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to click on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you.